Welcome back EFD fans, where today we're looking at 10 players destined to move next summer. Though most of these players didn't get the move they wanted this winter, they should definitely be on the move in 6 months' time. 10. Jack Grealish. One Englishman at the top of everyone's shopping cart is Aston Villa captain Jack Grealish. Having faithfully stuck with the Birmingham club through relegation from the Premier League despite interest from Tottenham Hotspur, Grealish has emerged as a genuine star talent on the cusp of a call-up to the England side. And it's no surprise to see why he is so desired. One of the most exciting attacking midfielders when on the ball, his 7 goals and 5 assists in the league have been a combination of fine solo efforts and absolute screamers. His importance to the side cannot be underestimated, with his XG chain at 0.5 showing how he is expected to be involved in over 50% of all of Aston Villa's attacking play. And with star striker Vesely out for the season, his importance is only going to go one way. However, it is blatantly obvious Grealish can't stay at Villa forever, and this summer could very well be his moment to move on to a club challenging at a much higher level. Manchester United are said to be very interested, while he could prove to be an asset for any club fighting for European football. If Grealish can help his boyhood side beat the drop and also secure some silverware in the League Cup final, then it could well be his perfect send-off. 9. Boubakary Soumaré. The first Frenchman on the list being chased by a whole host of clubs is Lille midfielder Boubakary Soumaré. Fabled as the next Paul Pogba, the 20-year-old has been lighting up Europe with his explosive box-to-box displays. In Ligue 1, he maintains a huge pass completion rate of 91%, whilst in the Champions League, he was attempting an equally impressive 3.1 dribbles per match. This ranked him behind only Chelsea's Mateo Kovacic and Willian for completed take-ons at 67%, which in turn was 4% better than Leo Messi could manage. And he could soon be lining up next to Willian and Kovacic, with Chelsea set to go head-to-head with Man United for his signature. Lille boss Christopher Galtier admitted during January he wasn't sure if Soumaré would still be a player at the end of the window. But the midfielder was quick to reassure his coach and the public that he had no intention of leaving mid-season, preferring a summer move instead. Lille were no strangers to selling their top talent either, having moved Nicolas Pepe onto Arsenal last summer for €80 million. While a fee for Soumaré may not quite reach those heights, he will still be a big investment for whoever claims him. 8. Paul Pogba. While the new Paul Pogba may be joining the Premier League, the old one looks like he's almost certain to be leaving, with Paul Pogba clearly fed up with life at Man United. It's a transfer saga we have covered endlessly on Eurofootball Daily, and one everybody hopes will reach a conclusion this summer. The Frenchman is undoubtedly one of football's biggest talents. In the 2018-19 season alone, he was taking 4.8 shots and key passes per 90 as he racked up 13 goals and 9 assists in the league. His performances earned him a place in the PFA Team of the Year just one season after helping guide France to World Cup success. But this season he's been nowhere to be seen, with injuries limiting the midfielder to just over 500 minutes of league action. Not only that, his agent Mino Raiola is a constant critic of the Red Devils board, openly stating his desire to see his prize asset leave the club. The only issue remains Pogba's huge valuation. United have been quoted as wanting €150 million for the player, a price few have the luxury to afford. Despite that, a return to Juventus or a move to Real Madrid seems the most likely bet, with his position at United simply becoming untenable. 7. Aubameyang. Another Premier League star who looks almost certain to leave in the summer is Arsenal forward Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Like with Pogba at United, Aubameyang appears to have grown tired of his club's lack of success, with the Gunners set to miss out on Champions League qualification for the 4th straight season. A number of outlets reported that the former Borussia Dortmund man has made it very clear to new boss Mikel Arteta that he has no interest in signing a new contract, with his set to run out in 18 months. To make matters worse for Arsenal fans, the Gabonese international was consistently linked with Barcelona this winter as the Blaugrana desperately hunted for a new forward. All things considered, it makes sense for Arsenal to sell him this summer whilst his value remains strong. There are few goal machines in the world of football quite like Aubameyang. Having torn up the Bundesliga with a mammoth 141 goals in just 213 games, his 2.5 seasons at Arsenal have yielded a further 57 in just 91 appearances. In fact, his scoring rate hasn't dropped below a goal every other game since 2013-14, which is quite frankly ridiculous. Turning 31 in June, Aubameyang is entering his twilight years as a player. But with a scoring record as impressive as his, he'll still be a big desire for all of Europe's biggest sides. 6. Morgan Sanson. Under the guidance of Andre Villas-Boas, Olympique Marseille gradually are re-emerging as a French force, sitting second behind PSG, having lost the same amount of games. And one of the stars of his side is central midfielder Morgan Sanson. The Frenchman tends to be the pivot in midfield, taking the ball in defence and progressing the attack. So whilst he's only got 3 goals and 2 assists in Ligue 1 this season, the fact he has an XG chain of 0.5 means half of all Marseille's goals should involve the 25-year-old in some capacity. And when he does score, they tend to be spectacular, with over half his attempts coming from outside the area. Despite a number of clubs reporting interest in Sanson this winter, in a recent press conference, AVB made it very clear he would be furious if his side was broken up mid-season. Clearly heeding his warning, the board moved quickly to extend Sanson's contract until 2022. Though importantly, that apparently included a verbal agreement to let him leave this summer should the right bid come in. A whole host of Premier League clubs from West Ham to Everton are said to be chasing his signature, so a trip across the channel this summer seems inevitable. 5. Alessio Avila. If it weren't for a season-ending cruciate ligament injury suffered early in January, Alessio Avila could well be playing in the famous stripes of Barcelona right now. The Osasuna forward had been in outstanding form for his club, with 9 goals and 2 assists helping guide his side to mid-table security. And it had looked like an inspired signing by Los Rojiblancos, who bought Avila, having seen him score 10 and assist 2 for Huesca the season before. What makes the Argentine's return even more frightening is the fact he's been averaging 4 shots per 90 this campaign, showing his capability to find space in front of goal. His injury has no doubt come as a massive blow for Osasuna, but at least prevented clubs from poaching their star man this winter. However, aged just 25 and with a proven track record in front of goal, it would come as no surprise to see clubs like Barcelona revisit the possibility of signing Avila in the summer. The Blaugrana have made no secret of their desire for a new striker, but if they don't move for Avila this summer, then another club almost certainly will. 4. Alessio Romagnoli. Among all the pain and misery which has seen AC Milan's demise over the last few seasons, one of the few positives has been the emergence of club captain Alessio Romagnoli. Having signed for the Rossoneri from Roma back in 2015 for 25 mil, the Italian must have thought he was joining Milan's side ready to thrust itself back to the top of Serie A. But while Juventus have tightened their grip on the Italian top tier, AC Milan have continued to underperform, with the club onto their 6th manager in Romagnoli's time at the club. While the managers may have changed, Romagnoli has remained an ever-present in the back four, having made 143 appearances in 5 seasons at the time of writing. And his record of 3.2 tackles and interceptions per 90 this season, as well as 5 clearances, has ranked him well above his Milan peers, with no other defender at the club coming close to these stats. Unsurprisingly, his continued growth as a player, leadership abilities and Milan's troubles on and off the field has caused many a club to court his services. Leading those in particular are PSG, with their sporting director Leonardo being very interested in poaching the player from his former club. They reportedly tried to make a move happen this winter, with Lucas Paqueta also involved in the deal, but Milan didn't budge. However, whilst Milan's issues continue, Romagnoli may feel he deserves bigger and better. And let's be honest, there's going to be plenty of clubs offering him opportunities on Europe's biggest stage. 3. Jadon Sancho. Just when you think Sancho can't get any better, he does. In a season when he was supposedly filled with discourse at Borussia Dortmund, the Englishman has continued to produce results and light up the German crowd. The youngest player in Bundesliga history to reach 25 goals, the winger turned forward is having yet another stellar season with 12 goals and 12 assists from just 18 games at the time of writing. That's despite an XG of just 6.9 and an expected assist of 7, showing how high a level he currently is operating at. His key passes have also improved on last season, up from 1.7 to 2.3 per 90, whilst his shot numbers are on the up too. And with fellow wonder kid Erling Haaland by his side, it's likely his assist rate is only going to go up. Making easy work of the Bundesliga, it appears his time in Germany is drawing ever nearer to a conclusion, with all of Europe's biggest giants lurking after his signature. A strong performance at the Euros this summer could be the final piece of evidence needed for the likes of Liverpool, Madrid, or maybe even Chelsea to make a monster transfer happen. Make no mistake, this will be a British record fee. 2. Federico Chiesa. In recent years, Juventus have perfected the art of snapping up some of the top talent at their rival clubs in a bid to maintain their dominance, and the next target in their regard is Fiorentina star Federico Chiesa. And he wouldn't be the first Federico to swap La Viola for the old lady, with Bernardeschi having made the exact same move back in 2017. At just 22 years old and with 17 caps for the national side already to his name, the striker arrived on the scene in 2016-17 when he managed 3 goals and 3 assists in a season when he was mainly used as an impact sub. Since then, he's seen his game time increase and with impact on his team grow, with 26 goals in 132 appearances at the time of writing. While this return is not particularly impressive, he does make an impressive 5 shots per 90. In addition to this, he is an absolute nightmare to deal with for defenders. In 2017-18, no other forward in the league won as many aerial duels as the Italian, and he ranked in the top 10 for tackles too. He's quickly outgrown Fiorentina, so a bigger club with more quality around him may be the best to unlock his potential. But with Inter Milan reportedly ready to challenge Juve for his signature, a move to Turin may not be as certain as it once appeared. 1. Lautaro Martinez. If Chiesa does head off to Milan, it could well be because he's replacing one of Serie A's most sensational players this season, Lautaro Martinez. The Argentine has emerged as one of Europe's most exciting forwards, with his relationship with former Man United forward Romelu Lukaku a vital factor behind Inter's title challenge. While the Belgian has outscored him so far, Martinez has still clocked up an impressive 11 goals at the time of writing. Lukaku turns 27 this year, whereas the former Racing Club man is still just 22, so has endless years of potential in front of him. And that potential is clear to see with his statistics in front of goal. Taking over 5 shots a game, Martinez is capable of scoring all over the pitch, having scored over a third of his goals from outside the area too. He's often compared to Barcelona's Luis Suarez in style, and it is that man he's quite likely to replace this summer. 10 years his junior Martinez could provide the perfect continuation up front for the Blaugrana. Despite being heavily linked with a move this winter, he insisted he wanted to stay at Inter and would command a monster of a fee. But money talks in football, and when Barcelona wants someone, let's be honest, they tend to get their way. So that was 10 players that are destined for massive summer moves. But is there anyone we missed out on? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this, make sure you go out and check out Stat Wars, where 2 players head it off in a spaceship. Simple as. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.